Hi, this is Dale Janota with School Board Support Services, and I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at how the attainment levels got started. So, we're going to give you a little history lesson here on attainment levels, looking at some of the pitfalls that were created by it, found out who started the darn thing, and also how you can work with it and how you can compare attainment level to attainment level. Okay, first of all, the attainment level started many, many years ago, back when the administration had control of the NEA and MEA. And they wanted to make sure that their salaries were going to be increasing, so they came up with a plan to pay the top paid teachers about 3 times as much as the entry level pay. Rationale was is they'll never make any less than the highest paid teacher, so they came up with that plan. And they came up with the structure, which I'll show you a little bit later. But Owen Nelson, the MEA research director at the time, knew this would never happen. So he took the worst salary structure in the state at the time and called it Attainment Level 1, and he called the MEA desired salary schedule Attainment 9. Then he averaged the 1 with the 9 and called it 5, averaged the 5 with the 1 and called it 3, averaged the 5 with the 3, and that gave him a 4, and he just kept this process up. Okay, but there were some flaws in from the people that were controlling the MEA at the time because they forgot one ingredient, and that was a lot of districts had a BA 45, a fifth year, or some call it MA plus 3. Anyway, they all mean the same thing. And back then, these were quarter hours as well. And then they went up to the MA 60. And then they figured out, well, how are we going to solve this thing with the BA 45? So the mode method at the time was to average the BA 30 with the MA. Not all districts did this. Some would shift everything to the right. Thus what happened was the MA column, instead of being an MA, it was a BA 45 structure. So everything got shifted to the right. Some cases even it got shifted twice. Like Sweetgrass High School was that way. They have a BA 60, which under the attainment level would be about an MA 15. And then one of the things that happens over a period of time, with all the rounding errors that occurred, virtually no one has an exact attainment level. I'm going to show you later the exact attainment level. But we got to go through one more. I don't know if it was a flaw, but something that happened that kind of changed some thinking. And attainment level 4, if you take a look at it, attainment level 4, the increments in the BA column are 4%. Now, this led people to believe that that 4 has to have some bearing as to how the schedule was created. I've had administrators call me up and ask me, how does this work? So I thought, I'll tell you how it works. It's got nothing to do with it all. But the thing is it led people to think, well, if that's 4%, if we have an attainment level 5, that means that's going to be 5% increments. That's not the case. Now let's go back and let's look at the attainment levels. Okay, I'm going to start this with an attainment level 9. This was the desired salary schedule. Now what I did here is I included an extra column here. And I added more steps because the MAA attainment level stopped there at 3.065 with the BA 60. This was their desired salary schedule. I just put more in here for you because I thought you might need it. Don't know if you do or not. But I want to show you what happens here. With an attainment level 9, you can see that the BA column has 7% increments. And as you see what happens with the attainment level, as you go to the right, the increments get bigger for experience. See, if I look at the MA 30, BA 30, we can see the increments in that column are 0.82. And then we're going to take a look at the BA 3 or BA 2 or BA 30 minus this. We can see what those increments, they're 10%. So they're all down, So they're the one. Those are the increments for experience going down on the schedule, and just to show you, they're all the same. Yes, they are. Okay, so in other words, what they're saying is as we move to the right, our experience is more valuable, retroactive. Now, I don't get that concept, but that's what the MEA attainment level says. Now, I'm going to stick in here that extra column that we had in here, like format column width. I'm going to put in 8.11. So now we have the BA 45. If perchance you want a full increment in there, you just change this to an F, and then it puts a full increment in there. But we'll go back to the half because that's the way most districts operate. Okay, now we're going to take a look at attainment level 1. This was the worst structure in the state. And this is what was everything spin around these two, attainment 1 and 9. When I averaged the two, I got the 5. So there's an attainment level 5. Notice here that we have 4.6% increments. Attainment level 4 in the first column had 4% increments. And again, so you see, it had nothing to do with it. That, if you're going to try to figure out using that 4 with all this, you're going to be driven nuts like I was for a while trying to develop this. Okay, well, anyway, let's go back to 5 here. And we can put in anything we want. We can put in 3.625. There's a 3.625 attainment level. You can put in a 3.987. There's a 3.987 attainment level. You can put any numbers in there you want. Your thing is automatically generated. And over here, I'm just using an example of a $34,000 base to derive the salary schedule. And I rounded it off to the nearest penny. You can round it off to the nearest dollar if you want. You can round it off to the nearest $10. I have one district that wanted everything rounded off to the nearest $12. So you can do it however you want. Just that's all you ever have to do. We'll go back to the penny here again. And I'm going to stick a 5 in here. And keep in mind again, this is yours if you want it. All you have to do is email me. Say you want it. I'll send it to you. No charge. I like doing this. I mean, something like this is something that you should have. Okay, but let's take a look at what it means in terms of dollars. Here's my attainment level 5, okay? The increments are $1,564. I got somebody in the BA step 7 at $43,384. You do absolutely nothing to your schedule except give an increment. So they would get $44,948. But this person says, hey, this schedule says I should move to the right. So they move to the right to this column, and they go to $47,208. Compare that with this number, and we're looking at darn near, let's see, $4,000, just about a $4,000 raise as they go one to the right. And that's because the increments increase retroactively. So you can see that if everybody moves to the right and goes down one, you get quite expensive after a period of time. So now I'm going to say, okay, let's say we have an attainment level 5. And, what I did here is I made up a scattergram of teachers. I took 46 and a half teachers, just threw them on the schedule any place. I don't care why or what for, just for an example case. And I see that the schedule here would cost $2.324 million. So I'm going to do this here, paste that over there, because we're going to see what would happen if I wanted to look at attainment level 4 instead, and I wanted to come up with the same dollar cost. So I stick a 4 in there. Whoops, now all of a sudden that reduced my cost $93,000. So I'm going to stick in a number here. I'm going to say, well, let's say I go 35,420. Let's see how close that is. Whoops, that's pretty close, isn't it? Let's see, maybe 35,418. Will that work? 418. Oh, it's close. 418. I got to put a little bit more in there. 48.418.4. Is that going to work? Oh, got it right on the head right there. I wonder how that happened. Okay, anyway, so a $35,418.40 rounded to the nearest penny. There would be your salary schedule that would have the same as an attainment level 5 with a $34,000 base. So it's a way to see, when you look at the attainment level, it might say that teachers like a low base pay because they'd rather have the money up on the top. Well, I hope you're finding this interesting. Again, keep in mind, you want me to send you this template. All you have to do is ask. You got my email address there. I will send it to you, no obligation whatsoever. I hope if you're not buying my research, you buy it sooner or later because I do quite a study on my salary analysis that I do, and people seem to like it. As once I get people to use me, very few people stop. My name is Dale. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you want one. Bye bye.